What's going on, guys? Today's video is going to be another quick product install, and today is going to be the Active Jet Sport Dash-ECT. This is going to tell you the engine coolant temperature on the dash. Now, those of you that watch my channel, you know that the biggest gripe I have with SeaDoo is how limited they are with the amount of metrics and data they give you on the dash of your screen. Now, they kind of address this in the newer skis with the bigger screen, like the one on the 325 GTX for 2025. But on this color screen and some of the generations before, you are very limited with the amount of information they give you. Battery voltage is one. In the past, they also used to give you lake water temperature, they used to give you boost metrics, all that good stuff, and they really don't give you much to use anymore. Now this is something obviously not everybody will need, but for those of you that like to keep metrics on your engine, see how well things are running, or even if you just want to keep an eye on things, so if you're riding aggressively, you know kind of where your engine temperature stands. It's kind of important because I'm sure some of you know by now that once your engine gets to a certain temperature, hot enough to trigger a engine overheat, it's generally too late to fix anything beyond that point. So, for example, the thermostat housing on the SeaDoo is completely plastic. The thermostat is press fit into a coupler housing with a bunch of retainer tabs around it. And if you experience a high pressure situation in your coolant system and that piece pops off, I'll try to find a picture.
Like this thing is out. And I try to push it in.
I've fixed quite a few of those. All your coolant is going to piss out everywhere, and you're going to be running your engine at, say you're running 8,000 RPM, going 60, 70, 80 miles per hour, and all that coolant is gone. So now your engine gets extremely hot very fast, and by the time you have any kind of notice on the dash when it throws that fault for engine overheat, it's generally too late, because these are small block aluminum engines, and they can't take too much heat too fast. So you can really damage parts if you run without coolant on these engines for too long. On the flip side, say something goes wrong with your ride plate, you have a coolant passage blockage. For those of you that are running older skis that have not changed your coolant, you know that sometimes when that coolant gums up, or if it was swapped at some point, you have lower quality coolant in, all of those cooling channels that are in your ride plate can gum up, and it'll prevent cooling water from passing through. And then in some situations, I just worked on a SeaDoo the other day that was having engine overheat problems. We put a brand new pump on, we replaced the sensor. I even took the ride plate off to clean it out, and there was just small bits of rubber gasket or whatever all through the system. I even took off the hose here, and the small needle on this port was completely blocked up with little pieces of rubber gasket. And granted, it could also be part of the gasket maker they use on the ride plate, but over time it just kind of blocked things up, and he said every time he would come back to an idle after running the ski, it would overheat. So he got lucky because it wasn't overheating at high RPM. But the point still remains, I forget what the trigger temperature is for the overheat code on these engines, but if you have one of these sensors or one of these dash kits, you'll get an indication on your dash as the temperature is going up well before you hit that threshold for the overheat warning. And this is something that's very easy to install. You quite literally just plug it into your OBD port. So I'm going to do that here in a second, and I'll show you how that works. But one of the things I wanted to point out is a lot of people are running accessory harnesses. Like if you have the depth finder, if you have anything else that's running off of the factory diagnostic port, this will also work with that. So this does not need to be directly connected to the OBD port like some accessories do. In this case, I'm running the OEM depth finder, and I have the peripheral diagnostic connection here. This will work with that, so you don't have to have a direct connection. I know sometimes with for example, the Map Tuner Nano, generally it's not recommended to run that on your accessory connection. It's recommended to run that directly on the wire leading into the wire harness. So I'm going to put the camera down, I'm going to stage it, and I'll show you what we need to do to install this. So this is one of those things you can easily install. You realistically don't even have to remove the engine access cover on your SeaDoo. You can do that right from the front here. And I'm going to go ahead and just get this plugged in just like that. And now you have these two loops here. You can kind of Velcro, or I'm sorry, not Velcro, zip tie that to any surface that you can find that's available. On this model, there is a loop on the coolant tank, so you can easily bolt it up to that. That's exactly what I'm going to do. You can also move it to the other side and bolt it to the fuel rail, which is where most of the wire loom is passing through. Or you can even use the engine lift, the metal plate there. Realistically, you can put it anywhere. This thing is very, very lightweight. It's also water resistant, so you don't have to worry about it getting wet. So I'm going to go ahead and zip tie mine to this loop on the coolant expansion tank, and I'll show you what that looks like when it's finished. All right, and that's it. That's fully installed. So I'll show you what it looks like here on the dash. I have low gas, so you can ignore that warning. Now, I'm not sure how good the GoPro is picking it up, but you can see right there that we have the engine temperature. So right now it's 73 degrees. Obviously the SeaDoo has not run, but that will go up in temperature as we're running the engine. And it's reading the engine coolant temperature. So it's passing off of this sensor right here. It's reading the coolant temperature. Very, very simple. Now there is a caveat on the color screens like the one here. There is a maximum temperature it's going to read. I believe it's 199 degrees or something in that realm. Which is perfectly fine, because if you're hitting that temperature, then you're probably experiencing some kind of problem anyway, since the thermostat temperature, that is the temperature at which the thermostat will open, is much lower. Now it's varied for quite a few generations of SeaDoos. There can be 165, 170, 175, 180 degree thermostat. Sometimes people swap them around. They have performance ones that will open slightly lower to try and keep the engine coolant temperature a little bit lower. But I'm going to go ahead and pull it up on the website so you can see exactly what it's all about. And here you go, guys. So the system itself is $170. And you can see here it mentions with the color display that the maximum temperature you're going to read is 192 degrees, and on the older style standard LCD that's not LED, basically just a black and orange or black and white, the maximum that's going to read is 194 degrees. So all the newer SeaDoos use a 175 degree thermostat, so you should always kind of be hovering around that range. If you're breaking into the 190 degree range, then that's a good indication that there's probably something wrong. I don't remember what the trigger activation is for a engine overheat. I believe that range is based on your model year. Some are just over 200 degrees, some are above 220 degrees. So this system will definitely help you out to keep an eye on your engine vitals, which, you know, for those of us that are spending thousands and thousands of dollars on performance upgrades, it only makes so much sense that we should be able to keep an eye on how hot our engine is running. So that's it for this one. The next thing I want to do is go ahead and get this thing out on the water so I can show you exactly what it looks like. And there you have it, guys. You can see the engine temperature right there, and we also have our depth gauge reporting in. We're about 20 feet here. Engine is slowly warming up, just came off the dock, so you can see that it's slowly starting to climb there. Another benefit is that if you are going through a no wake zone, or if you just launched your ski, you can kind of see when it's up to temperature. That way you know how long you have to wait or whatever before you can start to hammer on it. So I'm going to get to the end of the no wake zone here, and then I'll show you what it looks like temperature wise. This no wake zone is about, I would say, half a mile long, so we'll factor that in. Mostly through the no wake zone, and you can see we're at 171 degrees, so it's pretty much finished up. I forget which thermostat this is. I believe this is the 170, something like that, but either way, it's pretty much up to temperature now. So once I get out of here, I'll show you that, and then I'll try to get some video of it running as well at speed so you can see what the temperatures are doing. So we have it 174 degrees, seems to be the sweet spot for just coasting along. Hasn't went up beyond that yet. So we're out in the no wake zone. Let's go ahead and open it up a little bit and we'll see what it does. I know it's kind of hard to hear the exhaust and everything with the wind, but there we have it. We just did a quick blip at 8,500 or so RPM, and it's at 180 degrees. The highest I saw was about 184, I believe, so it kind of hovers around that. So we have about a 20-minute ride, or a 20-mile ride going that way. We're going to a bar in New Jersey, so I'm going to try to get some random shots going along the way just to show you what it looks like to keep an eye on the engine temperatures. Coming in on an island now to top off our gas. Obviously, we just drove quite a distance. We're going to top off with our spare gas tanks. But this is an island you can only get to by water, so we're going to top off there. Alright guys, and there you have it. That is the Active Jet Sport engine coolant temp add-on. Get a nice engine coolant temperature readout. I think this is an awesome add-on. Realistically, this is something SeaDoo should have included from the factory. I think engine vitals are a metric that's important to have, so I'm glad I finally have this on here. Pretty much for the most part, I've been hovering around 175 degrees or so, except for when I'm pinning it full throttle, doing some burnouts and stuff, that it's pegging around 180. So 170 to 175 seems to be the sweet spot. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, please feel free to leave a comment and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.